Ooh, it's the big time now. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. And if you're not sure if something happened to you is worth moving forward when it comes to taking legal action, we know somebody who does, right?
Well, yes, because you can get those questions answered today. Tom Merriman from Merriman Legal is joining us for another round of Case or Not a Case. I feel like I'm at law school when I sit here and really decipher these.
Just not serving any subpoenas.
These are easy. These are probably easy compared to what you've had to deal with.
Yeah, well, I think I have to say you cannot sue an NFL referee for negligent infliction of emotional distress, unfortunately.
Man.
Otherwise, my office would be filled every Monday.
You'd be doing great.
Yeah, you know it. But
So we get this game again. What do we call this game?
Case or not a case?
I love this because a lot of people think that necessarily they might not have a case, but in fact, they do. So you're giving us some great scenarios.
Just because you're angry about something doesn't mean you necessarily have a case.
Absolutely.
And
And vice
sometimes you
versa.
think,
Yeah.
vice versa.
Right.
Let's do one.
So
Let's start with one?
Try the first one.
Okay.
Okay. A priest, a rabbi, and an agnostic cowboy walk into a bar.
No dirty jokes here.
No dirty jokes. The Happy Trails Bar and Grill. They discuss theology, and with most discussions of religion late at night, there is some alcohol being served. The cowboy drinks 5 beers and 5 shots. None of the men appear drunk. At the end of the evening, the cowboy tips the waitress, thanks his friends. He's unpersuaded by their arguments, but he gets in his pickup truck and drives home, runs a red light, and causes a horrible crash. The police determine he has a blood alcohol content of 0.19%.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. That's more than twice the legal limit.
That's how I wake up.
Okay, case or not a case? Do the crash victims have a case against the bar?
I initially would look at that and say no. If he appeared to be sober, I would just, if he were just continuing to serve drinks and gets up and leaves. But I bet you there's a case there.
I think there's a case against the bar because
Yeah.
they know how many drinks they served them in a certain amount of time.
Okay, Natalie, should have gone with your initial instinct.
Oh, man!
Yep, you were right.
There's not a case.
Yeah, under Ohio law, a bar is not responsible for a drunk driver unless they serve that person while they were noticeably intoxicated. That's the key thing.
How can you? Yeah,
You have to be slurring your words.
becomes gray.
Yeah, and I've had cases where somebody has been served so
So
many
this is opinion.
Right, well,
not
you
science.
need witnesses, and this is the key. If you're injured by a drunk driver or you have a family member who's unfortunately killed by a drunk driver, you need to act fast. You need to get video. You need to find witnesses in that bar who can say, yeah, I saw that guy. He was slurring his words. He was disoriented, whatever. There's a lot of cases with drunk drivers where bars overserve, but it's very hard to thread that needle.
Yep, that makes
Because
sense.
different people have different tolerance, so that's where
Exactly
the
right.
defense is.
And even if they've served them really heavy drinks all night long,
Right.
if they're not noticeably intoxicated, they're not
Not a
liable.
problem. Okay, here's the second one
Okay.
up here.
All right, now going back to our priest and rabbi friends, they're
What a party this
intoxicated.
is.
And being wise men, they say, well, let's order an Uber. And they're engaged in their discussion. They get in the Uber and they don't put their seatbelts on. The Uber driver runs a red light, causing a crash. The priest and rabbi are severely injured. Do they have a case against, let's start with the Uber driver.
I would say yes, because he did something illegal. He ran a red light.
I know in California, if you don't have a seatbelt on, the guy won't even drive because he'll get a ticket. So I would say, yeah, the Uber driver.
You have a case against the Uber driver. The lack of a seatbelt will hurt you. A lot of people don't put seatbelts on when they get in taxis and Ubers and that kind of thing. And you got to do that because it can undermine your damages. The bigger question is, do you have a case against Uber itself?
I would, if you say yes, this will be interesting. I would say no.
You can't control what the employers are doing all
Yeah.
the time, I guess.
You are both right.
Okay.
You do not have a case against Uber. In Ohio, the drivers are independent contractors, but here's the good news. Uber by law is required, Uber and Lyft are required to have $1 million in liability coverage for their drivers. And so you would have coverage. So you don't need to necessarily sue the company.
Interesting.
Now let's do this last
This,
one.
this last one I love.
Okay, this comes from Jeremy Zimmer, who's one of the most creative people in this building.
What?
Okay, we've all seen this. You're driving on the freeway and you're behind a big truck and they have a sign, stay back 100 feet, not responsible for broken windshields. You happen to be 80 feet behind him when you notice the sign, and when you notice a large rock flying at your windshield, you swerve to miss it in vain. It smashes your windshield and you hit a pole. Do you have a case against that truck driver?
I think you do,
I
because
wanna
it's just
say
a
yes.
sign. It's just a sign. It's not, anybody can put up any kind of sign.
Right. I want to say yes.
Absolutely. You guys are on this week. You absolutely have a
Last
case.
week I was so off, so.
Sign is meaningless. It's like having a sign that says, I zigzag down the road for no reason. Or I don't use my blinker. Watch out. I like to shoot my shotgun out the back of my pickup truck. That does nothing. You have a case. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Tell
you're
people-
fine. So this is the thing. A lot of people, things happen to you. You don't know if you have a case or not. So why not speak with someone? And this just isn't anybody. I mean, you sit down with Tom, and you feel like you're talking with
And you
know,
get a
your
couple
friend.
laughs out of it too, right?
Yes.
There you
So
go.
Try to
you
keep it
make
light.
people feel comfortable. So that's his email address there, tom@merrimanlegal.com. You can go to the website, merrimanlegal.com as well. It's nice when you're in a situation like that. It's very intimidating. So to have someone to be able to sit down like you, that's kind and calm, and I think it's a
Boy,
very
you're
stressful
giving him
time.
a lot of latitude now.
Call me. We
Just
do it
saying.
for free.
Yeah.
People, ever since we did the last case or not a case, people call me with all kinds of stuff, and we talk about it. And sometimes they're just curious. But
And if you have a case, and if you
and-
get a claim, and if you get it, then
Yep.
then you talk
If you have a
about
real
it.
case, we'll take it, and off we go.
Very interesting. I enjoy this game very
Thank
much.
you very much.
All right, thank
It's not a
you.
game.